Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here. No, this does not take place after my Psychomania video. Apparently coming back from the dead takes a little bit longer than the movie depicted, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to talk to you about the Lego Movie 2, the second part, because I saw that recently and I really wanted to talk about it. Also keep in mind there will be some spoilers in this video for those of you who haven't seen it. Now it's kind of impossible to talk about this movie without bringing up all the other movies in the Lego franchise, so let me go over those real quick. The original Lego movie came out in 2014 and it very quickly became one of my favorite animated movies of all time. What could have easily been just a corporate shill cash grab commercial for the Lego company ended up being a really sweet and sincere movie with some phenomenal animation, some great comedic timing, and some really endearing morals. But I hold that movie to a much higher standard because it's one of the things that inspired me to become a filmmaker. I mean, granted, from a really young age I was always interested in movies and how they work and how they were made, but the Lego movie is the thing that really kick-started my passion for film. It's the reason that I taught myself how to make stop motion, it's the reason that I started these YouTube channels, and it's the reason that I will be going to college for film in the fall. So I owe a lot to this movie, and it holds a really special place in my heart. And because the Lego movie resonated so well with so many people, and more importantly, it made a crap ton of money, Warner Bros. Not only put a sequel into development, but also 2 Lego movie spin-offs were released over the course of 2017. The first one being Lego Batman, which I did a full review on if you want my thoughts, but this was a really fun and entertaining movie. Not necessarily as good as the original Lego movie, but I don't think it was trying to be. The movie's main goal is to be a Batman movie first and a Lego movie second, and I think it succeeds in that regard. The plethora of Batman references, from the villains to the vehicles to just like flat out lines of dialogue and like character designs, it's just really cool and a huge love letter to Batman fans. The story is surprisingly really deep and heartwarming. It is always constantly funny. The animation, once again, is beautiful. And it was just a really good time at the theaters. The second was Lego Ninjago movie, which, even though in my review of it I ended up giving it a little bit too much credit, I do acknowledge that it is probably the weakest out of the 3. It's not a bad movie by any means, but there are a lot of issues with it. The story is really predictable and not that interesting. The characters aren't developed well enough. The comedy is really hit or miss. There are some jokes that really work and others that are kind of just awkward and rambly. The animation is good, but it's not really consistent with the other Lego movies because not everything is made out of Lego. And I get the aesthetic they were going for, like, oh, maybe this is supposed to take place in someone's backyard or something, but still, it just doesn't really look right. I mean, it wasn't all bad. Like I said, the animation for what it was really good. The voice acting was really good. There are some pretty sweet and sincere moments, but out of all of them, it wasn't the best, and it really did make me nervous for this movie because I was thinking, well, I mean, they've been on a pretty steady track record. I hope that they, you know, without Lord and Miller in the director's chair, which they are back for this one, but they're just either writing or producing, I think. Without Lord and Miller in the director's chair, I hope that they don't, you know, mess everything up. And they don't. I'm happy to report that they really don't. And while it isn't as good as the original, I think it was definitely a lot of fun. It was a really good movie and much better than Ninjago and Batman. Basically, the story is it takes place 5 years after the original Lego movie, which lines up perfectly with the amount of time in between both movies coming out. Bricksburg has kind of gone all post-apocalyptic, Mad Max-ish, because of what happened at the end of the first movie with the whole Duplo block invasion thing. And everyone in the town has kind of, you know, like gotten this like hard-edged, tough side, but Emmett like tries to stay like optimistic because he wants to believe that, you know, everything is still awesome. But Lucy, or Wild Style, tries to, you know, like toughen him up and make him like into more of a like grown-up. But then suddenly this alien spaceship thing comes down and kidnaps a lot of the major main characters from the first movie, so Emmett has to then travel to the Sistar system to try and get them back. And along the way, he meets this character named Rex, who is also voiced by Chris Pratt, hilariously so. A lot of the major laugh out loud moments came from him. And Rex is kind of that character that is like, he's portrayed as the tougher, you know, more macho-y version of Emmett, and he like kind of teaches him, you know, how to be tougher and stronger and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the other main characters get taken to this like palace where there's supposedly an evil like plot going on with this queen whatever Wanabe, played by Tiffany Haddish, who was also one of the really good characters in this movie. The animation on her is like fantastic. But like she can change her appearance, and she's supposedly putting together this evil thing, but it's revealed later on that things are going a little bit differently. So now Emmett tries to, you know, get his friends back and stop the evil thing from happening, and all the while it's kind of revealed that, you know, once they do the whole thing again where, you know, it's basically just a backdrop of the real world where it's this brother and sister arguing about, you know, like the sister wanting to play with the brother, and, you know, the brother being like too grown up and not letting the sister play with him. Which I think is, you know, in the end it is really sweet and touching, but I don't think like it's as strong as the first one, because I mean we've already seen it, we already know what's going on. So, but I think the story in this one is really good. I will say that like the minute it gets started, you can kind of predict a lot of where it's going. Like the minute, you know, Lucy says, like, you know, times have changed, you really need to grow up, like immediately you can already guess where some of the major plot points are going. But you know, the movie, it does like keep you guessing at a lot of points. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that you think they make really obvious but then turn out to be something completely different, particularly with the Queen and the Rex character, which I'll talk a little bit more about them later. But the story, it definitely was engaging. I wasn't ever bored by it. And the animation in this is also really beautiful. You know, they go back to the same, you know, stop motion style as the other three. And they do the great like things where like even like the smear frames and stuff are made of Lego. The frame rate is dropped to mimic stop motion. And it was really cool. It's really nice to see, and I think the Lego movies have like probably some of the best animation out there for 3D animated films. The characters, the ones that they spend a lot of time on, they're still just as strong. The new ones they add were pretty interesting. The other side characters that you liked from the first one, they get like a few roles, but they're not in it as much in this one, and I was kind of, you know, disappointed in that, because like, you know, we want to see more of them. I mean, Batman gets a pretty like decently sized role, but the others like Unikitty, Metalbeard, Benny, all of them, they are kind of just reduced down to like practically cameos at this point, which I mean, like, at least they're in there, and I'm glad that they're still in there, and they're just as like entertaining as ever. But like, you know, I would have liked to see more of them. Emmett gets a lot more development this time around, and his like, you know, the dynamic that he forms with Rex is really cool and interesting. Lucy gets a lot more, or Wild Style rather, gets a lot more development with her like backstory of like trying to. Like needing to be tough, but really like wanting to be, you know, like cutesy and like stuff like that. The Tiffany Haddish's character, Queen whatever Wanabe, she also had a lot of the really funny laugh out loud moments. And basically her thing is she needs like she wants to marry Batman, which is kind of funny and leads to some like good jokes, and you know, there's a reason that there's a reason later on of why she actually wants this wedding to go through. We think it's for some evil purpose, but it's explained later on. There's another character, I think Sweet Mayhem, that like mini doll Friends figure with like the white spacesuit and the helmet and everything. she was pretty alright. I mean, there isn't really much given to her. I mean, aside from like her kind of being like the vessel of the sister, basically, like throughout her lines, like when it's revealed at the end, like what's happening, she's like, you know, oh, we've always wanted to, you know, like join forces with you, like we look up to you and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, it's kind of, you know, the messages and stuff are kind of hammered on the head, and I get it, it's for kids, they need to understand what's going on, but like, still, I mean, it works, but it's just a little bit too obvious. And then the character of Rex. I had a theory about where they were going with him, because like when the trailers came out and like you see this Rex character and you know like, oh, he's meant to be like a parody of like all the like tough macho roles that Chris Pratt has done like in the past year, like the galaxy defending archaeologist and raptor trainer and everything like that. But he kind of just comes out of nowhere and you're like, there's got to be more with this character than we think. And I kind of had a theory. I thought that they were going with like the whole, oh, this is like Emmett's long lost like twin brother or something that's been like trapped in this alternate dimension, a la Great Uncle Ford style or something like that. And you know, he's come back to like try and help Emmett or something like that. But they do something a little bit different. I mean, they kind of... Okay, so basically what they do is it's revealed that Rex is a version of Emmett from like an alternate future or whatever, where he was traveling through, you know, the star system, and he was trying to like rescue his friends, but then he crashed and fell underneath like the dry R system or whatever, or the planet of dry R or something like that. And he basically just stayed under there waiting for his friends to come and get him, but you know, they never came because they were on this other planet, you know. And so that kind of like broke him and made him like a little bit tougher, and he starts to move on his own, which is really funny again to see like the live action, just this is like Lego just like puppeted on like a string just hopping around, which I thought that was pretty funny. And you know, he builds like a time machine out of like a lot of just random spare pieces and goes back in time and tries to rescue Emmett so that he can and then the whole plot, like conflict in the movie is they're trying to stop Armageddon, which is basically, it's revealed at the end that like Maya Rudolph is the mom, and she's saying like, you know, to the brother and the sister, like, come on, if you guys can't play together, we're gonna have to put all the Legos in storage and everything like that. So, you know, they're all trying to stop it by having them like work together and everything, but Rex has come back from the future to get Emmett to cause it, so that, you know, all of his friends like get put in storage or storage or whatever, so that, you know, they like know what it feels like or whatever. I don't know, but it was really interesting to see what they did with Rex's character. And I mean, even though it kind of felt like a bit forced, but you can kind of understand it. As always, the comedy in the movie is pretty good. There weren't as many laugh out loud moments as the original or Lego Batman, but there were still some pretty funny moments. They continue to do all the like really great meta references and jokes. They have a lot of like, you know, funny cameos from like Bruce Willis and like Cheryl Swoops. And there are a lot of like movie references, and like they acknowledge like a lot of like, they acknowledge the fact that they're in a musical. They acknowledge like what's going on like in the real world. There's literally the song that they have to replace Everything Is Awesome is literally called Catchy Song, and it goes like this. So that, it's honestly like they're mocking us at this point, but you know what, honestly, I don't even care. That song is fucking hilarious. There's also another Lonely Island song during the credits, and it's literally just about the credits, which is kind of funny. So, but yeah, like, it's good that the comedy is still there, because the comedy was like the strongest part of the previous movies, but there are a lot of jokes that just don't work as well. But overall, I still really enjoyed the Lego Movie 2. Like I said, don't think it's as good as the first one. But as sequels go, it is still really enjoyable. I want to see it again. It's definitely got, you know, it keeps to the same morals, the same heart as the original. The animation is gorgeous. There's some really funny parts and some sincere parts. And it's just like an enjoyable movie. And I don't really know, I don't know if, like, I don't know where they can go in here in terms of like sequels and stuff like that. I know they've got another Lego Batman movie apparently in production, which, I mean, that should be fun, I guess. But I don't know in terms of like the main series of Lego movies. I don't know like where they can go. I mean, unless they do like the Toy Story 3 thing of like the kid's in college now and he's like not playing with Legos anymore or something like that. But I don't know, apart from that, I don't really know where else they would go, but I'm curious to see, because Lord and Miller are just like on fire right now with, you know, these 2 Lego movies, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I know a lot of people have said it online out here already, but how the hell did that Solo movie turn out? Like, how did their cut of Solo end up? But anyway, really liked Lego Movie 2. Not as good as the first one. Not as good as, actually no, I did like this better than Lego Batman. But yeah, I would recommend seeing it. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Oh, and also, hold on. Also, if you noticed back there, I ended up liking the movie so much that I got some of the sets because I really wanted, you know, like figures of all the main characters and stuff like that. So I got just a few of them. I got Emmett and Lucy. I really like the new Lucy figure with her like goggles and stuff like that. I got apocalyptic Batman because, you know, you need an apocalyptic Batman in your life. Got Sweet Mayhem, my first ever mini doll. She's got like the wings and stuff. She's pretty cool. She's got like a face underneath. Got Spider Metal Beard with his like chainsaw legs and pirate face. I got Queen Whatever or Wanabe. She also comes in her like horse form, but I liked her better like this. I got the Banana, who is easily the best character in the movie. And I also got the Sweet Mayhem spaceship or starship, whatever, because this thing looked really awesome in the movie and I had to get a toy of it because I am just that much of a fucking nerd. But it looks really cool. It's got like the inside and, you know, the like little storage areas and like the prison ship thing right there. So really cool, really like that. So yeah, that about does it. Be sure to like this video, tell me in the comments what you thought of the Lego Movie 2 if you've seen it, and out of all of the Lego movies, which one has been your favorite? I'm really curious to see your thoughts, because the opinions have been pretty mixed regarding at least this one in Ninjago and everything like that. So let me know your thoughts down below. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews. I promise I'll have, you know, the closure to the Psychomania video up pretty soon. I've just had a lot of stuff that I have to deal with in the meantime. And of course some more videos for my main channel coming up pretty soon, so hopefully you guys will stay tuned for that. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, subscribe to my main channel, follow me on all my social medias. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Please forgive me for what's about to happen, and see you later.